Dear beloved viewers, welcome back. Before we took a short break, I was explaining the scenario with regards to retirement savings award, which is very common, which is happening to our society. It has happened maybe to our friends. It will happen to us as well. If we are workers and members of the pension funds, then definitely required by law, we will retire. And whatever we saved, depending on the requirements of the law, a certain amount will have to be given back to us as a lump sum, and the other one is given as a pension over years. So we discussed about it is Zakat positions depending on the two scenarios that we mentioned. But now I want to conclude this discussion on Zakat on cash and near cash by one scenario. We want to build a mosque. We want to build a madrasa. So normally we do fundraising. We have our mosque that is old. We want to rebuild it or renovate it. So we put a strategy of collecting donations or zakat so that we can achieve our objective of rebuilding the masjid or the madrasa. Now we collect this cash sometimes to the extent it reaches the nisab, and it passes so many years before we achieve the target. So a target, for example, is 20 million Kenya shillings to build a madrasa, a modern madrasa school, or to build a mosque, or it is 200 million, or it's 500 million that we need, okay, to build a very good center, Islamic center. So believers, Muslims start to donate. They donate. And they donate to the extent it reaches the nisab, and another year, we keep on donating, another year, we keep on donating. What is the position? Does this donated funds eligible for zakat? The answer is no. They are not eligible to zakat. And the reason is these are not owned by individuals. Whose mal is this? Who owns this mal? When you donate for this cause, that means you have no ownership. All donors have no ownership. Who owns these funds? These are Allah's funds for that particular cause, for that communal, charitable projects that we have. So, given that there is lack of ownership of these funds are actually, maybe we have some treasurer, we have a chairman, we have whoever to oversee these trusted funds, but it doesn't belong to any one of us. It's a sadaqah already given, and could be even a waqf already, because if you want to build a mosque, it's a waqf that we want to use these funds for. So when you give it, it's already no longer yours. It doesn't belong to anybody. And in that particular scenario, these funds, according to Sheikh Ibn al-Baz, these funds are not eligible for zakat. They are already to be used for the community, to help building the masjid, or building a madrasa, or building an orphanage center. Okay, so they are not zakatable for that case. So there could be so many other scenarios with respect to zakatability on cash, but I beg to stop here on this category of wealth so that we also discuss other categories of wealth. I want to start another category of wealth and open a conversation and discussions on its zakatability. And this has to do with business. Business are the engines of our economy today. You either be employee or you go to entrepreneurship, which is something that is good to do to those who have the muscle to do it. So businesses are with us. Businesses are engines of the economies all over the world. There are businesses that are run, and they take many forms and shapes. It could be a sole proprietor that is owned by an individual. It could be a partnership that's owned by more than one individuals coming together, putting capital. Could be a musharaka, or it could be a mudaraba form. It's a partnership. It could be a limited company. Shareholders are there, puts in their capital so that company can start operation, etc. It could be a cooperative society, like a SACCO, okay, that is there again to do certain business. It could be franchising, okay, you got certain rights from a certain brand for you to do a business on that particular brand or products of that brand. So whatever form and shape that the business takes, it doesn't exclude it from zakat. However, there are conditions that needs to be fulfilled. And what are these conditions? The conditions are as follows. Number one, nisab. For business assets to be zakatable, they must reach the minimum threshold required by Sharia, which is 85 grams of gold standard, or 595 grams of silver standard. So if you have a business that is worth, okay, and we shall talk about when we say it is worth, what does it mean by it is worth? Does it include fixed assets like the furnitures in that particular office, the computers, the installations? We'll discuss about this. What does this worth means in few, if not in this episode, in the coming episode. So if you have business assets that are zakatable, but there are business assets which are not zakatable. So you have zakatable business assets that has reached the minimum prescribed threshold, nisab, which is 85 grams of gold, which is equivalent to 85 grams of gold, and suppose you have more than that, then this condition becomes fulfilled. The second condition is hawl. Zakah on zakatable business asset, it is a yearly obligation. You pay zakat once per year. Another condition is ownership. That business, that zakatability is an obligation to the owners, those who own it, those who have full ownership of that particular business, not the employees, unless if the owners have prescribed an obligation to the management, to the CEO, to do zakat for their business. And the third and the fourth condition, it should be free from debt. There should be no creditors, okay, that have certain rights to that particular business. And here, in modern days, there could be suppliers, creditors. These are creditors, some guys who supplied to you some goods and you haven't paid them. Or it could be a financial institution, an Islamic bank, financed you through murabaha, certain kind of goods for trading purposes. Then this, again, your creditors, and so on and so forth. So the fourth condition is that it should be free from debt. I mean, you should deduct debt before you come to a decision of nisab. Before you determine or to arrive at the nisab, you should deduct. We are not saying if you are in debt, then ahlan wa sahlan, sleep. Say, a certain bank has given me a credit, financing. So I myself gharimin. No, you are not. You are not. Don't be too quick to exclude yourself from zakatability. We need to look at zakatable business assets, deduct what is supposed to be paid, to those creditors, and see if there is a net amount. There is a balance, and we judge the balance. Is the balance above the nisab or not? And we'll come to this calculations in the coming episode. So these are important 4 conditions: nisab, hawl, milk tam, and free from a debt. Now, there is some unnecessary, or sometimes people have these misconceptions with regards to urud al-tijara. Some people mislead business people by telling them, stocks for your business, the merchandise for your business are not zakatable. This is not the correct position. The correct position, which is the view that is strong, the view of the classical and contemporary scholars, is that zakat on urud al-tijara, commodities for trading, they are zakatable. Commodities for trading, they are zakatable provided they meet the condition of hawl, the nisab, the hawl, the milk, and free of debt. This is Jamhurul Ulama position. That is Imam Shafi'i, Imam Malik, and others, and in our modern day scholars, Ibn Baz, among others. And we should not pay attention to those who say that urud al-tijara are not zakatable. This is not the right position, though we know there is some sects like the Dawahiri sect which considered urud al-tijara not zakatable. But in our madhab, Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, by majority, agree that commodities for trade are zakatable. In Lijnat al-Da'ima, under its chairman, Sheikh Ibn Baz, he said, whosoever doesn't pay zakat on commodities for trading, he is doing a mistake. He is committing a sin if he is not paying zakat on commodities for trading. So, dear beloved viewers, in this episode, we have opened our second category of zakatable assets, which is business assets. In the coming episode, we shall discuss further about the nisab and other aspects related to it.